If you're curious about anti-spin rubbers that are used at high professional levels, but can also offer interesting options for amateurs, today we are talking about Dr. Neubauer Gorilla. This is an anti-spin that has even been used by players like Tenergy in international tournaments, where she has successfully disrupted top-level opponents. Many amateur players have heard of it, often with mixed opinions. Some say it is uncontrollable. Others say it is dangerous and almost unplayable against. The truth is somewhere in between, and to understand it, you need to look closely at how this rubber actually works on the table. The first surprise with Gorilla is the bounce test. When you bounce the ball on it, the sponge looks unusually bouncy for an anti-spin. This can be misleading though, because in actual gameplay, Gorilla behaves very differently. On the table, Gorilla shows a very strange dual personality. When you hold the bat softly and allow the sponge to absorb the energy, the return is slower and disturbing, with much of the opponent's spin neutralized or even reversed. The ball floats back in a way that forces awkward timing. But here's the key difference. Even in this so-called passive mode, Gorilla is not as dead as ultra-slow anti-spins. The ball still travels deeper and a bit faster, so you cannot rely only on extreme slowness to keep it on the table. This can be good for creating trouble, but it also demands more precision from the player. If, however, you stiffen your wrist or engage the stroke with more forward movement, the rubber changes character instantly. The ball shoots off at a pace much quicker than in the passive shots. It feels like Gorilla only has a few gears. One is the passive block, which is relatively slow but still faster than the slowest anti-spins. The other is the engaged stroke, where Gorilla suddenly becomes quite fast. The gap between these gears is pretty wide, which is what makes Gorilla tricky. Even a small change in firmness can push the ball much longer than you expect. This dual speed nature can confuse opponents, but also challenges the user's consistency. At the same time, this extra speed has an interesting tactical effect. Since my returns often go deeper, the opponent tends to play back deeper as well. That gives me the chance to take one small step back and prepare space for a forehand attack. With extremely slow anti-spins, rallies are usually shorter and closer to the net, so switching quickly from a closed table block to a forehand loop requires sharper footwork and faster timing. With Gorilla, I can sometimes use the deeper rhythm to set up my forehand in a more comfortable position. Technically, the correct blocking method is to hold the bat passively, without any forward push. Any forward motion makes the ball rise too high or fly too long. The ball should be taken not right off the bounce, but a little later. Chopping with Gorilla is possible, but difficult. Because of the faster sponge, chops tend to go long if not controlled carefully. Still, in the right hands, Gorilla can produce awkward chops that disturb the opponent. Gorilla is designed mainly for disruptive close-to-table play. As for attacking, Gorilla is not built for true offensive play, but you can hit with it. Be aware that this must be tricky also for you, because you can make mistakes very easily. At professional level, you rarely see direct attacks with anti-spins, but at amateur level, especially in lower divisions, these surprise hits can fool opponents. Overall, Dr. Neubauer Gorilla is not an easy rubber, but it is unique. Its passive blocks are already faster than most anti-spins. It can win points through awkward spin behavior and sudden changes of pace, but it can also cost points if you lose control. Compared with ultra-dead anti-spins, Gorilla requires more precision and more training time. In the right hands, it can shine. In less experienced hands, it can feel wild and hard to play with. In conclusion, it is not a rubber for those who want easy safety, but for players who enjoy a more dynamic and dangerous style of play.